Hello and welcome to AI Frontiers, a global collaboration between Reuters Plus and KPMG. I'm your host, Nadira Tudor, and in this, the second part of our look at banking and financial services, we'll take a further deep dive into how AI is fundamentally overhauling the sector. I'm joined today by two industry leaders and a KPMG specialist to continue the discussion. I'd like to start in Hong Kong, China, where Angel Mok, partner at KPMG China, has been closely following how AI is being adopted by the banking sector there. Angel, you tuned into part one of our discussion. Are there any notable differences to how AI adoption is progressing in Asia?
Hello, Nadira. Thanks for having me here today. In Asia's banking sector, there's a strong focus in leveraging AI for enhancing customer experiences, improving on operational experiences, and strengthening fraud detection and some of the risk management capabilities. We see that here in Asia, one key difference is the level of regulatory support and the speed at which regulations are being updated in order to accommodate for the AI technologies. In some of the Asian markets, regulators are actively encouraging banks to adopt AI through innovation hubs and regulatory sandboxes, fostering a dynamic environment for banks to experiment and also implement new solutions. The other difference I see in the Asian market is about the culture factor. In some Asian countries, there is a higher level of trust in technology, which can accelerate the adoption process.
Despite the positivity here, Angel, it does appear, at least from the outside, that Asian banks are being more cautious in terms of AI adoption. Is this a fair appraisal?
While banks in China might appear to be taking a more cautious approach in AI adoption, we would like to think and recognize the context behind this strategy and this cautiousness. China is a leader in innovation and technology compared to many other countries in Asia. This cautiousness that we see today is actually a reflection of a deliberate and strategic effort to build solid foundation for AI implementation. We see Chinese banks prioritizing regulatory compliance, data security, and customer trust as they embark on the AI journeys. They usually start with pilot projects or limited scale developments, enabling them to test AI technologies in specific areas. Then, as these banks gain more experience and confidence in deploying AI technologies, I expect to see broader adoption across the Chinese banking sector, reinforcing China's status as a technological powerhouse in this region.
You've mentioned the regulatory and government support for AI. Is this having an effect on investment strategies?
Indeed. The China government's active support for AI adoption is significantly affecting how banks invest in this technology. With favorable regulations and funding for R&D, the government is creating an ecosystem and environment that encourages banks to prioritize AI in their operations. This helps reduce barriers for entry for AI technologies and foster collaboration between private and public sectors.
And how do you think these investment strategies will reshape the sector in the coming years?
So I think banks must first take the time to clearly define their strategic objectives in order to truly maximize the returns on the AI investments. For example, they should pinpoint specific use cases which AI can deliver the most values. By aligning your AI initiatives with overarching business goals, banks can ensure that the investments are not only targeted, but also strategically impactful. The other thing that banks could possibly do is build a robust data infrastructure. High-quality data is a livelihood of successful AI applications. By breaking down silos and ensuring seamless data sharing across departments, banks can unlock powerful insights that can drive better decision-making. As I mentioned earlier, upskilling the workforce is critical. As AI evolves, employees need the right tools and knowledge to leverage this potential. Encouraging innovative culture and collaboration allows teams to work together to explore new AI applications and quickly adapt to the market.
Thank you, Angel. Some really great insights there. Moving to the other side of the globe now, TD Bank Group Chief of AI and Analytics, Luke G, has been listening in Toronto, Canada. Hello, Luke.
Hi, Nadira. How are you doing?
You've driven the implementation of numerous pilots over the last year to empower colleagues. How have you fostered a culture of AI literacy amongst your workforce?
Sure. It's been an incredible 12 months we've had so far, and we've learned a lot. So we've really gone deep on our knowledge management systems here in TD. As you know, banking is complex. There's a lot of policies that we have to work with for our customers. And we wanted to really help our phone agents. We started with a pilot and now we're live with over 1,000 agents using our virtual assistant to answer customer queries and make sure that they're able to respond quickly with lower average handling time and fewer handoffs with other members of experienced staff. We wanted to do this in a really methodical way though. We wanted to create a pattern that was replicable. And so by the end of this year, we're going to be live across 7 of our businesses, including securities, business banking, as well as retail and insurance as well, and direct investing. So we're really pushing these KMSs across the organization. We know it's a fantastic way to develop capability and to enhance the experience for our customers. The first build took us about 4 months to get to accuracy, and now we're down to about 3 weeks. So we're building that internal muscle as well to make it better for our colleagues.
How is TD navigating the evolving regulatory landscape whilst continuing to innovate?
Yeah, obviously banking is a heavily regulated environment, as it should be, and we want to make sure that we provide the best answers possible. We keep a human in the loop in all of our approaches. We make sure that there is somebody who can look at the final output from the application and make sure that it's valid. And there's different things that we do there, from thumbs up, thumbs down, to a citation to where the policy actually is. And we make sure that the agents feel confident in what they're saying back to customers. We've had some really fantastic feedback that the application does actually increase confidence of our colleagues, and they're excited to use it. We want to make sure that the human in the loop element is compounded across the organization. We have over 95,000 people in the organization, and we want to make sure they all have access to AI. We're delivering executive education for our executives in every single department. We're rolling out Microsoft Copilot, and we've got GitHub Copilot working for our engineers and developers as well. So we're really trying to put the tools into our colleagues' hands so that we can best their skills and deliver things quicker for our customers.
Now, I imagine keeping the human in the loop may well be part of the answer to this. What governance frameworks have you put in place to ensure responsible AI development?
A chap called Jesse Cresswell, he's one of our largest patents. He's patent holders in TD. He's got over 100 patents that he's filed while he's been with us. And he's a specialist in this area. So between Jesse and his team, who are sitting within our AI ML COE within the organization, they're constantly looking at the barriers of AI and where we need to think more about being ethical and creating good outcomes for our customers. Jesse's heavily interlocked with his colleagues of a similar area in different organizations, as well as in the research and education space. And he also operates with some of our internal risk and control partners. So literally, this is all Jesse and his team think about. We are making sure that everything we do is done for the best of our customers and to create the best outcome. We want to make sure that we feel good about that and that they feel good about that too.
And what are the next frontiers for AI at TD?
Well, there's a number of areas you can go, and actually that's one of the complications of AI. It could be attributed or it could be applied in many different places, but actually you've got to be clear about where you want to go, what you're trying to achieve, and go deep enough to get to that return. One of the things that we're really excited about is our predictive transformer model. This is something that we patented a little while ago, and actually it's now coming to life. It can be used in many different areas across marketing, fraud detection, a number of different things. We want to make sure that we're creating the best outcomes for customers. It increases our predictive capability. We've found that it can run more quickly. And actually, it's about efficiency. We can have a single transformer model with a number of heads rather than having many tens of models. And actually, that means that internally we're quicker. There's less to validate, there's less to control and monitor. So that means we're simpler as an organization, but we're delivering better outcomes.
Thanks for those insights, Luke.
Thanks for having me, Nadira. Really enjoyed it.
Flying back across the Pacific to Sydney, Australia now, where it's the end of the day for Gavin Munroe, Group CIO for Commonwealth. Gavin, hello.
Hello, Nadira. Thank you for having me.
You've got a front row seat to the transformation of banking by AI. CommBank has made significant investments, including a new tech hub in Seattle. Can you tell us a little bit more about the strategy behind this?
Yeah, it's a great question and something we're very excited about. We've been working with our partners in the west coast of the US for a while, Microsoft, AWS, Anthropic, but it's always been a little bit of a chore with the time zone difference and getting access to the right people. So we felt we needed to be closer to where the action is, and that is there. So we wanted to have direct access to the engineering teams, work in their innovation labs, and be able to cut the life cycle down by that sort of direct interaction. It's important that we put our engineers in that space. They can sense the energy, the vibe, the culture, all that directly. So for us, it's been key. Those engineering and squad teams coming back have been able to embed some of those practices and some of that energy back here in Australia. And we think it's made such a big difference. So getting access to engineers directly, being at the heart of some of the conversations, seeing the product life cycle, being in the innovation labs of our partners has all been a plus. So something we're very excited about and are going to continue to do.
You've clearly put in place a comprehensive transformation plan at CommBank. How have you gone about building the infrastructure to support this?
Yeah, I think that's something that's quite often neglected or underrepresented. You can't have good AI and good Gen AI unless you have that infrastructure and those foundations. And we all know that good AI and good Gen AI needs good quality data. So we've been improving our data quality. We've been moving our data to the cloud where appropriate and pulling data out of legacy silos. We've also spent a lot of time building out our metadata layer and our semantic layer above that. That is vital if you want to use Gen AI. Gen AI has to understand what the data represents and how to use it. So without that metadata and that semantic layer, it wouldn't work well. So we spent a lot of time building that out. We've also recognized that to use our policies and procedures in our LLM models, we need to basically have quality procedures and policies. Those had to be written so that they can be consumed by Gen AI and actually deduped and made sure they're relevant. If you have conflicting policies, Gen AI will struggle with those kinds of conflict information. So we spent a lot of time cleaning up that. We've also spent a lot of time building our foundation so that we can build out our responsible AI framework. So that is basically the foundation which all of our models and all of our use cases run on. And what that ensures is no matter what the use case is, it'll be running through the guardrails we've applied through our principles and our responsible AI framework. And then beyond that, we've also exposed all of the LLMs and the tools using our partner framework. With AWS, we're using Bedrock, and then with NVIDIA and Microsoft, we're using their tools as well. So making sure the engineers have access to the right tools, can use the LLMs, can use the tools that our partners offer. That's been vital in allowing us to innovate. It's been vital in the velocity of change and the velocity of what we're doing across the organization.
Of course, Gavin, building AI capabilities requires more than just technology. I understand CommBank has launched an AI for All initiative for employees. How important is this skills development in your overall AI strategy?
I think skills development is critical. You know, we often focus on the technology part, and that is important, but I actually think it's the easier part. I think that cultural transformation and that skills development is the harder part. So it's vital that we focus on that as a cultural transformation.
Thanks, Gavin, for giving us such tangible, real-world examples of AI's effects. Thanks to Gavin, Luke and Angel for providing a truly global perspective on banking's AI transformation. That concludes our exploration of AI in the banking sector. Do join us again for another episode of AI Frontiers.